Well, thank you so much for joining here today at our Hire Easy webinar. Um, and one of the most talked about topics that I'm hearing every single day is how do we create a candidate experience that really is impactful?
Mhm.
Most recruiting teams, candidate communication starts and ends with email, application updates, interview details, onboarding steps. But in reality, emails get lost, overlooked, and sometimes skimmed at best when we're onboarding talent. Now, compare that to maybe a landing page experience. And instead of digging through leads, candidates have one place to go. It's organized, easy to revisit, and bookmark. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. My name is Dan Hart, and I lead the customer marketing team here at Hire Easy. And one of my favorite things to do in my job is connect with customers and people within this space and how they think differently and how to make sure that that candidate experience is at the top of every employer's mind. How do we move from email-based onboarding and communication to more of an engaging, centralized candidate experience? I'm excited to introduce Michelle Hart. She's a senior talent strategist at Cottage Health. She has been around the industry for numerous years, and Michelle has taken the exact challenge head on as of recently. She's moved beyond traditional email workflows and built a candidate experience that people actually return to, engage with, and remember. So today she's going to walk us through where she started, what ideas came to mind, and what was kind of the backstory on this, and how she built something that candidates really vibe with and really think it's a great customer and candidate experience. So without further ado, Michelle, you have the floor.
Oh, well, thank you, Dan. I'm so excited to be here. Um, I appreciate you saying numbers of years of experience. So I've
Yes.
been in TA for quite some time. I've been a full cycle recruiter, worked in agency and corporate, sourcing, talent attraction, excuse me, technical, healthcare, retail. I've seen candidate experience from all different sides. Um, so I wanted to share today what our new experience at Cottage Health looks like. So let me share my screen here. So for those of you who may not know Cottage Health, we are a 130 plus year old not-for-profit health system on the central coast of California. We're located in beautiful Santa Barbara, and some people call that the American Riviera. Late last year, my leadership had asked what tools do we have that we can use to enhance our candidate experience? And I thought of our landing pages with Hire Easy. So let me share with you what we had, what we started with, and where we are at currently. So,
And Michelle, pause there. When you're
sure.
having those conversations with leadership, um, I assume that the leadership discussions was, hey, AI needs to be at the forefront of this.
Yeah.
How do we
AI.
do this? How do we evolve in this?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
and so I'll stop there, but then keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's why we thought about Hire Easy landing
Yeah.
pages. And that's how I got started was, well, the easy agent is in there and I don't have to start from a white blank screen. I can start putting information in there and it will start to spit out and share some thought in regards to how the landing page can look. So, like Dan had mentioned, most of us are used to a one long email. So, and that's what I found when I first looked at onboarding experience. Everything lived in one place, a very long email, and sometimes a few very, very long emails. Um, and so I know some of you, you've had that same experience. You've either sent out these long emails or you've joined a company where you received the long email for onboarding. So how just kind of think back about how does that make you feel? Were you excited and felt welcomed, or did it feel like a long laundry list? Because we all have that list. We need that to for the onboarding, but we wanted to share it in a more welcoming manner. That was really important to us. And so while we had all the right information, it wasn't really an experience for our new hires and the candidate. So, what I wanted to do was take that information and turn it into something more structured, more user friendly, and honestly, again, more inviting. So, what we found through this process, like many of you know, people don't read long emails. They scan things, miss things. I know I do. I just kind of skim through stuff. We all have kind of a 3 second attention span. It's just, it's not going to happen. And so when you have that and they scan and miss things, and the questions keep coming back to our recruiters and our TA business partners again and again and again, the goal was really to make it really easy to navigate, really easy to come back to, and ultimately something that empowered the new hire to self-serve. And so, like you mentioned, Dan, the bookmark. This
Yeah.
is a landing page they can bookmark and go back to. So ultimately, of course, we want to stand out from our competition. So that was ultimately a big deciding factor here too. We want a great candidate experience to stand out from our competitors out there.
Michelle, talk a little more about that too, about maybe candidates, um, as they are onboarding,
Hmm.
that experience, the recruiting experience of what we give to candidates doesn't just stop at when they accept an offer. And sometimes
Right.
when we look at the TA landscape and what our
Mhm.
roles as recruiters are, it's not just get an offer and move forward. It's
No.
how do we create that experience and transition them to be full-time employees and really embrace what is to come for their
Yes.
career.
Well, and that's why this was so important, is because in some cases, it may be a month or could be 2 or 3 months, because sometimes we're bringing students on that may not be done until May or June this year. And so we want to keep them engaged. And so again, an email can get lost, but if they see this new email and the click to the new landing page, again, they can bookmark it so they can reference back to it. It allows them to feel connected, even if it's still several months out. So that was kind of the thought, because it doesn't end right there when they say, yes, we accepted offer. I feel like it's really just the beginning then. So our hiring managers do a really great job with, they send emails out, based on their different departments, but we really wanted to make sure that they felt really welcomed from day one, from that, after that offer accept.
Got
So,
it.
yeah, so we kind of created and built around the new hire journey. And journeys is what we call some of our processes internally. So everybody has to complete journeys, and you get assigned journeys. And so that's kind of what we went with. So we created this centralized onboarding hub, something that our new hires can go to, not just once, like I said, but multiple times throughout. It's not a one and done communication, and it did become more of that guided journey. And just as important, that it wasn't about organizing information to share with new hires, but it really was making sure that they felt from the moment they said yes to the offer with Cottage Health, that they continued to feel welcome the whole time. They were supported, and that it was very clear that we cared about their experience before they walked through the doors of the hospital. That was really important. So we
And to your point is once they accept an offer, I'm sure in the chat, maybe people have had this experience of they accept an offer, but then there's a gap, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Well, in those 2 to 3 weeks, as recruiters, we know that there might be potential counter offers, um, uh,
exactly.
other offers that are in play. So if
Mhm.
you're not working with these or candidates
Mhm.
on that onboarding journey and still continue to kind of court them throughout that process,
Yes.
maybe they're going to take a counter offer. Maybe they have another offer in play that they're just waiting
Exactly.
on.
Yes. And it's so important because that does happen. We have,
For sure.
there's a lot of competition out there right now for talent. So it's really important. And so just by making these changes, it makes us stand out, and they remember, and they're like, yeah, I feel so welcomed here at Cottage Health. They're really thinking of me as
For sure.
um, as a candidate, as a new hire, as an employee. So that was kind of the thought, that we're bringing them in. So
Yeah.
that was very important to us, and we were really intentional about how we structured everything. I worked with our TA business partners, so this wasn't just me sitting down and saying, okay, here's a laundry list of things. I worked with them. I worked with our employee health department, worked with our leadership, so that we could build out this new hire. Um, hub, if you will, perspective, thinking about what they need, when they need it, what kind of questions do they have. So we organized it in very clear phases, what to expect from offer to what we day one, basically. So we included FAQs, really clear call to action so they knew exactly what steps, how long will those steps take? Because sometimes you don't know. You're like, okay, I completed it. Will it be done tomorrow? Will it be done 2 weeks from now? So we wanted to be very clear with that. And also, really important is that a lot of people want to know about orientation. Well, if your
Mm,
orientation is 2 weeks out or 4 weeks out, whatever that might be, but they still want to feel like they're connected. And so they want to have that information ahead of time. So we kind of walk them through on day one what to expect, trying to ease some of that first day anxiety. So we were hoping that would be helpful too, to kind of have both of those. And I'll share what that looks like here in a little bit.
love it.
So, going back to that first email that we had on that first slide, we structured the experience differently to hopefully answer a lot of the questions up front and free up that time from our TA business partners that are getting all of those questions repeatedly, and but also kind of creating that better experience for our new hires. So you'll see here, this is the new email. It does have the onboarding and orientation button at the top, so you're not scrolling to the bottom to find something. So it's right there. They can click on it. It tells them to click on the button. So that way they can see it right away. They can go ahead and bookmark it and come back to it later. So that was really important to us. So it's not getting lost again because you still have to send emails. That doesn't eliminate. It's just how
Hmm.
and what you're including in that email.
For sure.
So onboarding is still, it's still candidate experience. That's really key. So it wasn't just about improving our process. It was about making sure that every new hire felt welcomed and supported and confident because like you said, those early moments in that new hire experience, they really shape how someone feels about the organization, how they feel about Cottage Health long term, which
Hmm.
hopefully helps with retention. So you
100%.
start from that moment. So I can share with you the finished products that we have launched.
For sure.
So let me go ahead.
As you do that,
Mhm,
what were some of the conversations on the front end of uh, maybe from you worked with your HR business partners or the hiring managers or the leadership?
mhm,
Um, a lot of organizations say, okay, well, that's HR's problem or that's marketing's problem. Help me understand who you worked with and why did you want to say, hey, recruiting should come up with something to
mhm.
navigate the candidates through that candidate experience? And how did it make you feel like, first and foremost, like, hey, you're not a web developer, you're not a designer, you're not a marketing person, you're in the recruiting function.
Mhm.
Help me understand how you felt taking on some of these tasks
Sure.
and uh, what avenues, what conversations look like there.
So, like you said, I'm not a web developer. I don't have that IT experience. So that's where it was really nice with the with the landing pages is because everything is built in. It's drag and drop. With Easy Agent, I'm able to put in like create a onboarding page and include this information. And so it then spit out what we're going to see. Of course, then it's the bones of it, and then I add to it. With
Sure,
marketing, great partners. They've provided me with a lot of content that I can use in other material that I create for our team. And so I was able to take that and put it into this and format it
sure,
in such a way that it made sense for the candidate experience. So um, I was able to create this and then share it with them and get their stamp of approval, if you will, which was really nice because it was fairly quickly that they were like, yeah, it looks good. Put a period here and move a space there and you're good to go. So that was really nice. So we had that. And then just working with the various teams as we would talk with one department, it was like, oh, maybe we should talk with the other department because they have pieces that they would want to have included in here.
for
So
sure.
that was really helpful to have a little bit of input from different groups.
And
So
in a healthcare organization, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of
there
different
are,
things that you kind of had to handle
yeah,
throughout this process. So
exactly.
I'm
And
excited to tap in to see how you did
see,
it.
yes. So this is our final product here that we've launched. You'll see here it has our logo, which takes, it's a clickable logo, so it takes us right out to the Cottage Health page. These are all clickable links that will take you to the sections throughout the landing pages. So this is what our new candidates or our new hires get. They will be able to see, they're able to see from offer to day one, like I mentioned, the different steps and how long the tasks will take and results to be back. Um, I think this was one of the areas that there would be confusion with our candidates because we have two different appointments for employee health screenings, and this was really important to have with our employee health team. So we had several conversations with them, and this continues to evolve. And that's what's great about the landing pages is that I'm able to update. So if a document changes, I can go in and I can make that change and make it go live, within just a matter of seconds. So it makes it really great. But this was really important to call out. These are two different appointments, what to expect at each of these appointments. Then we get down to our procedures by work location. So if you're an on-site employee or a fully remote employee like myself, there's different approaches for how you would complete this task. So this makes it very easy for you to locate. And then we have the actual locations. If you're going to be doing something on site in Santa Barbara, here's the different locations you can choose from. Employee health and their location. And what we wanted to call out is making sure parking is limited. So we call that out, letting people know. Because again, you're anxious to get to your appointment and you just want to know, maybe you schedule for somebody to drop you off. So a little bit easier. The onboarding information here. So making sure, as I mentioned, we call our tasks journeys. So we have our assigned journeys that we give to new hires. What to expect throughout all of this, what needs to be completed. Then, of course, contact information. How many people are always looking for the IT help desk number and you can never find it? So it's very easy right here for if they have any questions with setting up their computer or anything like this. So again, our TA business partners, their contact information, a resource guide, because in healthcare we have licenses and certifications that people have to send to us, and of course vaccinations. So we included that. So then after they've completed all of that, day one ready. So here we go. You're ready to go, and we also were able to get from marketing our own branded Cottage talent acquisition logo. So we have to use that anywhere we can. So we have that. And then here's the resource guides. So like I mentioned, these all are clickable links that will just take you to whatever section you need. So now you get day one ready, new hire orientation. And you'll see here this image, we then carry that over to our orientation image. So now here's the orientation piece that a lot of people are anxious to get. They want to know what to expect on that first day. So again, these are clickable links. These are testimonials that they can click through from previous new hire experiences.
And
This,
it's reassuring the
yes,
candidate of saying, hey, I did make the right decision. And you're not going to get that out of a generic email. Hey, your start date is Monday, May
yeah,
31st or whatever it may be.
yeah.
This is more of an interactive approach to the onboarding experience.
Exactly. And like I said, it's that welcoming piece and the day in the life. Our marketing team did a really fantastic job with this video. It has music behind it and everything, but you can see almost every job is represented in some way in this video, and it makes you feel, like you said, I chose the right place. Cottage Health is the right place for me. So that's what, being able to view it. I view it many times and it always
Yeah.
makes me feel good. So and then, of course, the orientation schedule, what to expect, what time is lunch, what breaks do we have, who's speaking. Again, the parking information, what they should do. And then meet our leaders. Um, you, excuse me, this is really important because some of these people are going to be speaking at orientation. It's nice to have name and face to go. Maybe you want to see who the, head leader is for your department, or maybe you want to check them out on LinkedIn. So you're able to see everybody right there. And then, of course, those FAQs, common questions, people want to know, like, am I going to be fed? Do I need to bring my own lunchbox? That type of thing. So, yes, we provide lunch, um, work schedules, all of that. And again, the contact and support information. But then again, these are two separate pages, landing pages in Hire Easy, but connected, and they can click back to the onboarding journey and they go back
Love
and forth
it.
between the two.
Okay,
So,
so it's pretty well done. The user experience, candidate experience, they
mhm.
can kind of walk them through first stages. A big thing is expectations on the front end. So then they're going in there with confidence. Help me
Yes,
understand. Again, you told me that you weren't a developer, you weren't a marketing person. Like, how did you create this, and how long did it take you from start to finish as you were playing around with the tool within Hire Easy?
sure. So, like I said, I just started with using the Easy Agent. We sat down as a team um, with TA business partners, and like, these are the questions that we get asked. This is what would be nice. This is our email that we use, and we started to go through that. And so then I put that into Easy Agent, and it created the kind of the layout, if you will. And then I just started playing with it. I took images that I had, I moved things around. Um, you can't mess anything up. That's what's nice. I mean, you might
For
accidentally
sure.
delete something, but you can go back to it. So, and that's what I did. I just started playing around with, doing fading and adding links. And it did not take long because I started with not a blank page by using that Easy Agent. So that was
Got
really
it.
helpful. So yeah, it would.
So the
Wise.
experience of creating this easy agent, the
Mhm,
agentic, agent that we have internally, it's
mhm,
more of like a chat GPT. You type in something, hey, this is what I'm creating. This is the information, the context, and you hit enter, and then it starts creating something, correct?
mhm. Yes. Yep. It started creating something. What was great is it actually put the section headers at the top in the footer. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's fantastic. And so um, that just those little things made a huge difference, I think, when we were putting it together. Time wise, it didn't take long. There's many iterations of this. It did not take long to put it together. I would say probably a couple hours each day for maybe a week. One solid day, I just was like, okay, laid it all out. Here we go. Sent it to my leadership. And then we started saying, okay, well, what about this? And what about that? But I think I mentioned earlier when we were speaking that last month at Hire Easy's FRBR, and Heather from Conagra Brands talked about 80%. Just get 80% of the way there. There's always room for improvement, and there is. I made changes on this yesterday. So you can't have that paralysis, if you will. Just get started and get it out there, and then you can go back and you can make edits, because we're going to get feedback from new hires, and so then we're going
Hmm.
to go, oh well, let's add this FAQ because this seems to be coming up a lot, or it would be great if we had this. So that's you just have to shoot
Out,
at 80%.
out of all the years that you've been in the TA recruiting
Mhm,
world, how have you seen the evolution of kind of onboarding, and why did you think that this would be the vision and the success that you guys have had,
mhm,
based on maybe your competition or what you were seeing other people are doing? Um, a lot of people are obviously, hey, it seems like if I went to the leadership of saying, hey, let's create some landing pages for the onboarding experience, the
mhm,
first thing that they're going to say is, well, we don't have it in the budget to go hire
mhm.
somebody to create all of this.
Yeah.
But you utilize the tool that you're already utilizing, not going out for another single point solution and just saying,
Yep.
hey, it's all in Hire Easy doing it for
Yep.
for my team already. Help me understand kind of what you're seeing, and how it's kind of impact your
Mhm.
workload internally.
Sure. So we are a self-serve society. We go
Mm.
shop online, we want to boom, get it there. We don't want to wait, but yet we want an experience. And so I feel like that's how we've evolved. And to go back to when I first started, well, first of all, we didn't have email. So that was, so our onboarding experience was definitely different. People came in person and you handed them brochures and here's your information. So it was definitely different. So as things have evolved, we really have come to we want an experience, we want to feel connected, and this is
Sure.
how we're able to do that. If I didn't have these landing pages, I guess how I would create something would maybe be through PowerPoint. You can kind of
Sure.
get a similar experience kind of through there because you can add images. So that would be one way you can add links, or you can do Word or the Google Suite. You could use those. To give you something that you may already have. You can even just, if you're still using email, you can input images. So there's something that's a little bit more inviting for the candidate on their side so they feel connected. I think that's a big thing now, too, as I've spoken with individuals over the last few weeks and talking about COVID, and they've said, I really need to feel connected. And excuse me, so I'm hoping that this provides that experience that they feel connected. They have um, you know, just the video
For
itself
sure.
is enough to feel connected.
Obviously, organizations want to see some success of like, hey, how do you monitor the results? How are you
Yeah.
seeing people, joining or looking at the landing pages? Uh, Maybe within Hire Easy, if you're able to kind of show us what does that
Yep.
look like? Maybe a feel of, hey, you
Yep.
go into Hire Easy, here's the landing page. Maybe from a creation
Yep.
standpoint, what does that look like?
So here is our numbers. So we had 17 visits just yesterday. And again, these are going out just to new hires. So if you
Sure.
look like, last week you'd see 200 and some because that's me. So,
Mhm.
but now it's just going out to new hires. The, excuse me, the interactions that they've had, unique visits, so you can see. And this is what we're expecting. Like if we
Yeah.
sent out, 15 emails to 15 new hires, we want to see that they're clicking on this. So we're able to
Hmm.
see we can see the interaction. So that's what we're really looking for. So that is fantastic for us. Um,
Love it.
so yeah, again, I'll just show real quick. You can edit right from here. This is what it actually looks like on the back
Hmm.
end. So it's asking you to put buttons, you can put forms, the video link. And so you just add it and start inputting your information. You can do colors, you have your images are saved in here, but that's what you do. And so you just add your components and you can preview it. What I like is you can preview it from the phone version. So you can see what it would look like. Most people are going to be on the phone, so you can see what that will look like from that viewpoint.
Love it. Awesome. As we wrap up, what are maybe three, four takeaways that maybe somebody in the audience is, hey, this is all well and good. How do I get started? What should I do? Moving forward of maybe I'm used to just sending out a pre-onboarding email and my hands are off and HR handles the rest.
Mhm.
What recommendations would you say and next steps for people?
So I would say if you're with that email, think about you receiving it as a candidate. Like, what feeling would you get? Even email it to yourself if you want and look at it, because sometimes just thinking about it from a different perspective is helpful. And then sometimes it's just small little changes. You don't have to jump right in and begin to build out this, landing page, this hub that we have now. But you can just start there and then have a goal like by the end of the quarter, we would like to add this. And then start working with the leadership and letting them know like how you want this experience to evolve and then get the buy-in from them and then start working with the other departments that you may need to include. So as much as you can do yourself to not be reliant on other departments because they have projects they're working on too. So if you can provide as much as you can to them, that's always helpful because then they don't see it as much of a as a heavy lift. So
Love it.
that's really important. So just start small and just, kind of have a plan. That was kind of our goal. We wanted to have this ready to go by the end of the first quarter.
For those that are interested in exploring, it's very similar. So here's Hire Easy. You would have landing pages. You can create a landing page here. It's going to walk you through a step by step, create a landing page for an open job or an event or a talent community, whatever it may be. And then it actually walks you through step by step and working with the easy agent, like Michelle explained in natural language. You can type in what exactly you're looking for and it's going to walk you through and create a landing page in seconds. And then you can kind of tweak on what exactly you're looking for. So, what is kind of last question? What is kind of the aha moment that or accomplishment? Like, how did you feel when all this is done from start to finish, not even creating anything in the past,
Mhm.
and then having a tool that can do it for you and walk you through step by step, and now you're a professional web developer?
I can add web developer on there now. I think for me, it was our internal team
Sure.
when they were like, this is awesome. Like, this is great. And to see the excitement from them and then our leaders to be excited, I think that to me, of course, I want it for the candidate experience. That's very
Yeah.
important. But for, all the hard work that our team puts in to the candidate experience, but to say, hey, we can elevate it even more, and
Yeah.
that they liked it as much and they were just as excited. So
Love it.
that
Well,
was
if you're interested in working for Cottage Health, feel free to reach out to Michelle. I know they have a lot of openings and they're a wonderful employer. And they really have a world-class standard of what candidate experience looks like from start to finish. If you want more information about Hire Easy, maybe you're a customer and you're not utilizing those landing pages as of yet, feel free to reach out to your account manager. If you're looking to other tools, resources, and you're maybe looking for a solution, something similar to this that integrates with everything, feel free to reach out to me personally or utilize the link in the chat. But again, thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for the whole leadership team at Cottage Health and all the things that you guys do, not just for this industry, but for so many people that you impact worldwide. So again, thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Shelby.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. This will be recorded and put it up on our YouTube page in the next couple days. And thanks again for joining us on this Hire Easy webinar this Wednesday afternoon. Have a fantastic rest of your day and a better rest of the week. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The future of talent acquisition isn't coming. It's already here. See for yourself at hireeasy.com.